Mayan Stories, the story of hero twins. Once upon a time, there lived two twin boys named 1 Hunahpu and 7 Hunahpu. They were the first generation of hero twins. These two boys loved to play the Maya ball game, and they were very good at it. Onlookers cheered so loudly whenever the boys played ball that the noise attracted the attention of the Lords of Death. The Lords of Death lived in the Underworld, also known as Xibalba. Now, these gods had a strange hobby. They liked to trick people into dying. The Lords of Death sent a message to the brothers, praising their wonderful talent. The message included an invitation to play a ball game in the Underworld. The brothers did not trust the Lords of Death. They couldn't ignore the invitation, as that would anger the Lords as well. So, one day, they set out for the Underworld. They made it safely across the River of Spikes. They made it safely across the River of Blood. They made it safely across the River of Pus. They finally arrived at the house of the Lords of Death. They saw a lord standing there waiting for them. What they didn't know was that this was just a wood statue to trick them. The boys greeted the lord without suspecting any foul play. And as soon as they did, the real lords appeared before them from hiding. "Do you think we are just made of wood?" the lords cried. The boys realized they had failed a test. They knew that they would be put to death if they failed 2 tests in the Underworld. Then the gods asked them to sit down. When they sat down, they were burned by a fiery bench. This was another trick, and they had failed another test. Because they failed both the tests, the gods put them to death. Despite being dead, according to the myth, 1 Hunahpu had a child with one of the Maya goddesses. This goddess had twins who were to become known as the hero twins. Their names were Hunahpu and Xibalba. Just like their father and uncle, hero twins grew up to become great ball players too. They were also loud and annoyed the gods of the Underworld. "I thought we got rid of those noisy boys," snapped a lord. Soon, a messenger was sent with an invitation to play a game of ball in the Underworld. The hero twins set off for the Underworld. However, this time, the boys had learned from their father's mistakes. When the boys arrived at the house of the lords, one of the lords was waiting to greet them, just like before. The boys knew that this was not a real lord. "We will not greet a wooden dummy," they announced loudly. The real lords came out from hiding with a surprised look. "You passed the test." They did not sound very happy when they said this. "Now, take a seat," said one lord, pointing at a bench. "No, thank you," replied the twins. "We will stand." "You passed the second test," said another lord. It was time for the actual ball game to begin, and this time the gods tried to trick the boys with a ball with sharp blades on it. When the boys saw the blades, they threatened they weren't going to play the game if the gods wouldn't play fair. The gods agreed to play fair. However, the boys knew that the gods intended to kill them if they won, so they let the gods win every time. What the lords did not know was that all this was the part of the twins' plans. The boys knew that they will not be let out of the underworld unless they died. So in the final match, the boys beat the Lords of Death. The Lords were furious. They told the boys to jump into an oven, and the boys agreed. The boys were killed, and the gods threw their ashes into the river. This was again a part of the hero twins' secret plan. When their ashes became part of the magical river, the boys came back to life as catfish, and later they were restored to as the hero twins. The hero twins now had many powers of the gods. They could kill things and then make them come back from the dead. They could burn a house down and then restore it to its original shape. The twins traveled from town to town, performing tricks for a living. The Lords of Death heard of their amazing act. They sent the twins an invitation to the Underworld, not knowing that they were inviting the very twins they had killed so recently. They asked the boys to perform the trick on them. The twins happily agreed. After all, this was what they wanted all along. The Lords of Death stood before them, eagerly waiting, and the twins, without hesitating, killed all of them. Only they did not put the Lords back together again. The other Lords knew they had been defeated. Rather than risk losing any more Lords, they sent the twins back to Earth. The gods of the heavens honored the courage and cleverness of the hero twins by bringing them up to the sky. One twin became the sun, the other became the moon, making them the rulers of the earth. Mayan stories, the story of hero twins.